It is almost 2 months plus since Governor Alex Otti of Abia State assumed office as the governor of the state. He was sworn in as the 5th democratically elected governor of Abia State, God's own state, to outfully and selflessly serve the state and eat good people for the next 4 years. Between then and now, the former bank chief executive has painstakingly shouldered the burden of providing people-based and result-oriented service by gradually and systematically resetting the system in a disruptive manner while laying the foundation for sustainable socio-economic growth and development of the state. The governor has, among other things, in a short period of time demonstrated strong commitment, political willpower, and strength of character, driven by an uncommon passion to discharge the expensive duties of the office of the governor. He has carried on with utmost tact, grace, and equanimity in dealing with the hydra-headed challenges he inherited from a reckless and unscrupulous political class, which relegated itself with an unbridled exploitation and impoverishment of the citizenry, amidst mindless and primitive looting and massive acquisition of wealth. Over the last 24 years, Abia State was known as one of the most backward states and impoverished states in the southeast of Nigeria, especially amongst the 5 eastern states, although Ebonyi State was actually ranked right behind Abia State. However, recently, it has overtaken Abia State tremendously with the innovation of the former governor David Umahi, who is now the current Minister of Works. This, of course, is apparently worse for a state as Abia, where social infrastructure and amenities are practically non-existent. Unemployment rate rising at a geometric proportion with the collateral spike in crime and criminality, compounded by a homogeneous sum of unpaid arrears of workers' salary, as well as pensions and gratuity of retirees. This culminated in the huge debt burden of over 191 billion naira from the outgone government of Okezie Ikpeazu. This explains the governor's occasional hard postures and stiff demeanor, especially when he remembers, and very often too, that he has a Herculean task to navigate through the minefield of every legitimate means possible to deliver on his campaign promises. But one thing is sure, the current government of Abia State came prepared, as they have actually started massive infrastructural development. And truly, immediately after he assumed office, he had hit the ground running, holding strategic engagements with stakeholders in his home with genuine and potential world-class investors. These investors traveled from their location as early birds to interface with him on the potentials of investment windows they could possibly explore and exploit for the overall socio-economic transformation of Abia State. Indeed, the more interesting perspective of the unfolding positive of the current administration is that these intending investors are presently falling over each other in their quest to identify with the new and trusted Otti-led administration, which has actually started working and is actually showing results. You all will agree with me that every serious investor would want to work with a serious government, and of course, Abia State government has actually shown seriousness in taking up the challenges of the state and actually bringing solutions to the numerous problems faced by the state. And so it is natural for investors to troop in and actually contribute their own quota. Obviously, something unique is happening for real in Abia State. Certainly, this is a clear departure from the old and previously corrupt narrative where the people had become accustomed to their governors who squander the scarce state resources on jamboree trips to Europe, America, and Asia in deceptive and fraudulent pursuit of foreign investors. Interestingly, this time around, these well-meaning and genuine investors have continued to pour into Abia State in order to contribute their own quota. You can imagine the sudden role reversal with an upright and dependable leader in the saddle. The bilateral business discussions in all the visits center around how to harness the huge economic potentials in Abia to drive the current administration's transformation agenda. This goes beyond private businesses discussions initiated by past leaders under the guise of attracting foreign investors to the state. First in the list of visiting investors were the delegation of senior management team of MTN Nigeria. The company sought for collaboration with the LP-led government in telecommunication development and other sectors, particularly on the financing of small and medium enterprises, education, security, and e-governance, amongst others. Another significant event was a historic visit to the government of Abia State by the managing director of the world-reputable road construction giant Julius Berger Nigeria PLC, which eventually signed a contract of the 6-lane Umuahia-Port Harcourt Expressway. Their discussion actually centered on investment potentials in Abia and specifically how to address the critical infrastructure needs of the people. The visit of Julius Berger immediately followed by the arrival of a team of the company's engineers at Abia for an on-the-spot assessment of some critical roads in the commercial town for repairs and rehabilitation. Of special interest was the Port Harcourt Road, the rehabilitation of which was started but later abandoned by the past administration, throwing many resident and business concerns on the road into disarray and hopelessness. Even more reassuring is the fact that the current administration has started to lay a solid foundation for a full-scale launch into its massive rehabilitation programs. This simply means that the current administration has clearly demonstrated so far that its policies and actions are actually in line with its promises that it made towards the citizens of Abia State, and that they are ready for real business and will not grope in the dark in the running of the state like its predecessors who came unprepared, hence lost focus, groped about without direction and mission all through their double-barreled tenures and left Abia State and its people in worse state. Therefore, it is very important to note that the current administration of Abia State is actually ready to work and the citizens will actually enjoy the dividends of democracy. Kindly do well to hit the comment section. Tell us what you think about the current developments in Abia State. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Thank you.